There was once a boy in my class who stood out for all the wrong reasons. He was only 11 years old, but there was something about him that felt different, quiet, watchful, always observing the people around him with eyes that seemed older than his years. At first, I thought maybe he was simply shy. He didn't play with the other children much. Instead, he would sit alone, always with a pencil and paper in his hands. He filled notebook after notebook with drawings, but these weren't the cheerful sketches of houses, pets, or cartoons that children usually make. No, his drawings were unsettling. Page after page of dark, shadowy figures. Figures holding knives. Figures standing over sleeping families. Figures drenched in red. One day, curious and concerned, I gently asked him, "Why do you draw these pictures?" He looked up at me, his expression completely calm, and said, "Because someday I want it to be real." The words froze me. It wasn't said as a joke. It wasn't said for attention. It was said like a simple fact, and that was what made it so disturbing. Not long after, another student came to me trembling. She said he had whispered something to her at recess. "Don't go to sleep tonight," he had told her. "I'll be standing at your window with my blade." Her parents called the school in a panic, and I had no choice but to take the boy to the counselor. When asked why he said something so terrifying, his answer was chilling in its honesty. He shrugged and said, "Because if she's scared, she won't take my friends away. People always leave me. I want her to stay afraid, so she doesn't forget me." That was when we realized what was behind his behavior. This wasn't just cruelty for fun. It was about control. About fear of being abandoned. In his young, twisted mind, fear was the only way to keep people close. But even knowing that, the danger was undeniable. His mother later confessed that she sometimes woke in the night to find him standing silently in her doorway, clutching scissors. She had caught him more than once trying to harm the family cat, saying he wanted to practice. Eventually, she admitted she locked her bedroom door at night because she didn't feel safe in her own home. And then things escalated even further. One afternoon on the playground, he cornered another child. He pressed a sharpened stick against their throat before teachers managed to pull him away. When questioned, he didn't cry. He didn't look guilty. He simply said, "I just wanted to know what it feels like." That was the breaking point. Child Protective Services were called. A full psychiatric evaluation was ordered, and soon the boy was placed in a residential treatment facility, the only place where professionals could keep both him and others safe. I never saw him again after that, but his story has stayed with me for years, because behind the drawings, behind the threats, behind the violence was not just hatred, it was fear. Fear that the people he loved would leave. Fear that he would always be forgotten. And in his mind, fear was the only way to make sure they stayed.